She's got that look, she's got that style, she's got that conversation that makes you want to stay for a while. She's the all-American woman. Hello, my people. And today, I want to talk to you a bit about the Confederate flag and the situation that's going on in South Carolina. Now, I know a lot of people have different views about the Confederate flag, and it seems like more people are in the minority on wanting to keep the Confederate flag flying along with the American flag in South Carolina at the State House. And, you know, this is not a new thing that South Carolinians have been talking about. This protest, the rallies that have been going on there have been doing so for a very long time. It's just, you know, each year South Carolina has chosen, and not South Carolina's the people, but South Carolina, the state officials have chosen to keep this flag flying. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Confederate flag and what it represents. Especially about that minority that is so passionate about keeping it as part of the Georgia, just keeping it as part of, for those people that want to keep it as part of the South Carolina way of life and keep it flying. Well, from what I've read and what I've seen from the people that want it to stay there, these are people that want to say that this flag is not about race. This flag is about us wanting to share our heritage and to show a part in time when the South was a rebellious part of the country, and they did secede from the Union, and they did fight for their own rights, and there were people in their families, in their, you know, their ancestors that fought in the Civil War for the rights of the southern states. And that is one of the main reasons that they want to keep this flag flying. They don't want that part of history to die. Well, and in saying that, I totally get it. Anybody that has an ancestor that did anything that was a part of history wants, especially if they're proud of that history, okay, let's say that, if they're proud of that history, and of course these people are proud of that history, then they want other people to know about it, and they want, you know, to show their pride for their family member. Anybody can really get that. The problem lies in the fact that what the Civil War stood for. Now, I know a lot of people like to say that there were Southerners that did not agree with slavery. And that is true. There are Southerners that don't agree with slavery. But slavery, we cannot get away from the fact that slavery was in the South. And we can say that, yeah, the Southerners of that state, of that part of the country, or part of the South, the Southerners of the South, were not just fighting for slavery. They were fighting for economic reasons too, and they were also fighting for the right that they didn't want a bunch of Northerners, or as they like to call them, Yankees, coming to their part of the world or their part of the country and telling them what to do, which I can totally get too. But all the economic stuff, all the taxes, all of that stuff was all, and due to the fact it all was around the fact of slavery. You can't just brush that away. Oh yeah. The Civil War was talking about slavery, but there were other reasons too. All those reasons, the main reason was slavery. Slavery was the reason that, you know, Southerners had their plantations, and they were able to force people to work on those plantations, and they were forcing, you know, people that they wouldn't necessarily have a place of their own to live on. You know, the worst places in the world are the worst places that you can think of. You know, pigsties, one-room shacks. They were forcing people to live there while they lived in the lap of luxury in these plantations, and letting them know, hey, you know, yeah, you're part of this family. You're just a part of the family that gets to work all the time, and you don't get to reap the rewards of what you've done. That's for us to do. That was slavery. And economically, slavery was what kept the South in the lap of luxury if they didn't have slavery, they would have to now begin to pay these people to stay on their plantations or watch them go. And no family, no matter how affluent they were, could afford to pay as many people as they needed to man these plantations that were full of livestock, that were full of vegetables and property, all kinds of different things. They knew this. So yeah, you can say economics, you can say taxes, you can say whatever you want to. It all stemmed from slavery, and that's what the Southerners wanted. And they knew the only reason that the Northerners wanted them to stop was because they abhorred slavery. And not all Northerners hated slavery. Let's get that right too. Not all Northerners hated slavery, but for the reasons you would think. I'll say that some people didn't care for black people themselves, or they really didn't know black people, but they knew that slavery really held up the economic situation in the South way better than it did in the North. They knew that. They knew that the way the Southerners lived, they knew that it would be a huge deal to take that away from them. So, and when the Civil War came about, this is one of the most controversial and bloodiest wars in American history, because it dealt with people fighting in their own country. Of course, we see plenty of that today, but thankfully, to the extremes it was in the Civil War, we don't see that anymore. We still see it, of course, but not to the extremes that it is at the time of the Civil War. As they said, brother against brother. These people could have been related, but because one was on the side of the North and the other was on the side of the South, you had to choose sides and, fight for that side. Now, me personally, I didn't know a lot about the Confederate flag until I became a teenager and learned more about it. But I didn't know how much hatred. And then, of course, you watch any movie about the South, and you'll see the KKK waving that Confederate flag like it's nobody's business. Now, I think, and this is another point I want to make, I think that if these people that are so proud of their Confederate flag and really say, oh, we don't care about the slavery, or we're not holding it, it's not because we're racist or anything like that, then I think those people that have held this flag, this Confederate flag, in such high esteem would have felt more anger to the KKK and white supremacist leaders for using their flag that, oh no, it wasn't about that. They're using their flag as a symbol of hatred, because that's what it's become. Now, if I held something in high esteem and someone tried to use it for something ugly, I would protest that. I never heard anyone protested the KKK or any other white supremacist group from using the Confederate flag. I never ever heard that. And if they did, I would like to know about it. But I have heard plenty people protest people wanting to get rid of that flag as part of the state, as part of the face of the state, because it says so much and none of it is positive. And you can twist it and turn it any way you want. It really does not say anything positive about that state when you have the Confederate flag waving right next to our American flag. There's plenty more I can say, about it. But I do want to let you know also, I am a proud Southerner. I was born and raised in the South. And like I said so many times, I hope to die in the South because I love the South. It's always been a part of my heritage. Yes, there are some dark things about the South, but there are some dark things about the North and the East and the West, other parts of the country. There's dark things there. But I choose to look at the things that make me proud about the South. And one of the things that's hugely popular about the South is the fact that we are hospitable people. We may hate your guts, but you're going to feel comfortable if we invite you into our home. And then when you leave, you're not going to be able to say anything bad about us because we made you feel as good and as right as rain. And that's what we are. We're a hospitable people. So when you put a flag up there that makes a majority of the country feel negative and feel like you're ostracizing them, what does that say, Southerners? What does that really say? Okay, so that's all I got for today. And please give me your comments at the bottom of the screen. I'd like to continue this discussion. Of course, I'm going to be talking about more topics and other topics later on, but I just couldn't let this go. I mean, especially like a lot of people said, this is the best time to do this. Unfortunately, it had to come at the cost of losing 9 beautiful people, 9 people that lost their lives in a sanctuary. Very sad. But if any time is the right time to get rid of the Confederate flag from South Carolina, this is the time. And still, if you want to wave it at your house, go right ahead. But I can tell you now, more people than not would love to see that flag taken down from South Carolina, and let it be a part of your personal pride and wave it at your home or whatever. Or get a little flag to put in your car. I know a lot of people put them on the license plates. And do that. You're still showing your pride. And, you know, your state still loves you. But it's showing, and by doing that, it's showing that they are trying to include all people and not just one group. And they're definitely not trying to ostracize another. Okay, thank you. Have a great day, everybody, and I hope to see you next time.